Just imagine a world where dragons and supernatural creatures exist, along with wizards and witches who both control and battle these dragons. Today, we are diving into the anime Burn the Witch. The story begins with a well-known girl named Ninny, who is being pursued by multiple reporters. To escape, she quickly uses the flash on her phone and takes off running. Upon reaching a dark alley, she casts a spell that activates a portal leading to another world. Meanwhile, Noel is in the middle of chasing a small creature when she is suddenly attacked by a bat-like being. The force of the attack sends her flying along with the creature. Before she can hit the ground, Ninny casts a net spell to cushion her fall. At that moment, a narrator's voice begins to explain that 72% of deaths in London are actually caused by dragons. However, this is not the London most people are familiar with, but rather a hidden version known as Reverse London. To prevent destruction in the city, an organization of witches and wizards was established to manage and control the dragons. Balgo is a young man who has an unusual ability to attract dragons, making him a source of constant chaos within the city. Noel and Ninny's captain informs them that they will be rewarded with money and contribution points for keeping Balgo in check. With that in mind, the two witches mount their dragons and set out in pursuit of him. Balgo accidentally collides with a chimney, damaging it in the process. When the girls arrive at the scene, Noel states that the dragon insurance will cover the damage Balgo caused. She then instructs a boy who was nearby to take a test to determine if he had any contact with the dragon that was with Balgo. If the result were positive, he would face a 100-year prison sentence. However, the test comes back negative. Suddenly, a white dragon appears behind Balgo. Noel immediately tells him to find a safe place to hide before shooting a magical blast that knocks the dragon down. She quickly calls her superior to report that she has taken down a dragon and needs a team to come and retrieve it. While she is distracted, the dragon's head falls off and the creature attacks her. Ninny swiftly jumps in, preventing Noel from being hit. The dragon's color shifts to a dark shade, and it begins pursuing the witches. Ninny contacts her superior, informing him that it is a dark dragon and that the streets need to be blocked off immediately. A citywide alert is issued in response to the situation. Noel calls her superior to request the deployment of a specialized dragon elimination team. However, Ninny grabs the phone and hangs up before the request is processed. She has no intention of letting the specialists handle this one. Defeating the dragon herself would bring her one step closer to joining the elite team. Dodging attacks, Ninny fires multiple magical shots at the beast. Meanwhile, Balgo, in his attempt to escape, unintentionally runs straight into the dark dragon. Before the dragon can strike, Noel arrives just in time to save him. She unleashes a powerful spell, vanquishing the monstrous creature. Meanwhile, the dragon elimination team has been observing the battle. They engage in a discussion regarding Balgo's existence, concluding that his presence poses a threat to the city. As a result, they decide to put a plan into motion to eliminate him. The scene shifts to Ninny's superior, who informs her that someone has been raising a dragon in the western part of the city. Since this is a serious violation, he assigns her and Noel to investigate the matter. To make things easier, they bring Balgo along, as his strange ability to attract dragons might prove useful. Not long after they arrive in the western region, a massive explosion erupts in a nearby building. The trio heads toward the site to investigate. Ninny spots a figure on one of the upper floors and summons her dragon to reach them. Once there, she is surprised to find her acquaintance, Macy, a devoted fan of hers who, under normal circumstances, should not be in Reverse London. Macy explains that the building belongs to a company that has consistently spoken ill of Ninny, something that has fueled her anger. Frustrated and unable to hold back any longer, she came here to destroy the place. At that moment, a dragon appears behind Macy. Ninny urges her to hand over the dragon, as raising one is strictly prohibited in Reverse London. She assures Macy that she is willing to keep quiet about this incident if she cooperates. However, Macy refuses. Overcome with emotion, she starts yelling, prompting the dragon to lunge at Ninny. Before the attack lands, Noel intervenes to assist her. Seeing another girl interacting with Ninny, Macy is consumed with jealousy. She begins hurling furniture at Noel in a fit of rage. Ninny decides to circle around the building, but before she can act, she is struck by Bang Nifi, a member of the elite dragon elimination team. He makes a call instructing his subordinates to raise a dragon barrier and evacuate everyone from the area, except for Balgo. He intends to use a fabricated story as an excuse to eliminate him, claiming that Balgo was responsible for the attack on the building. Noel, realizing the situation, flies toward Balgo and fires shots at the individuals attempting to detain him. She grabs him and swiftly flies away from the conflict. Meanwhile, Ninny sneaks up behind Bangknife, pointing a magic gun at him. She demands to know if he was the one who brought Macy to reverse London and why Macy has a dragon. Bangknife replies that Macy discovered the dragon in regular London, which is why he recruited her and brought her to reverse London. He also reveals that Macy is an anomaly, a person with an exceptionally high level of magical power. Before Ninny can react, Bangknife kicks her gun into the air. However, Noel, passing by at that moment, catches it mid-air and fires at him. Seizing the opportunity, Ninny grabs Macy and attempts to escape. Bangknife then calls upon his own dragon to pursue them. Once they reach a more secluded area, Noel raises a protective barrier to prevent them from being tracked. Macy takes this moment to explain everything. 2 months ago, on a rainy day, she encountered a baby dragon. Strangely, no one else could see it. She decided to take it home, cared for it, and fed it until it eventually grew. However, just yesterday, Bangknife appeared at her apartment and took her away to reverse London. At that moment, Bangknife and his dragon arrived, breaking through the barrier that Noel had raised. Bangknife stated that from that point on, all wizards and witches had received orders to eliminate Balgo. Macy's dragon appeared at the scene and, using its ability to become invisible, managed to land a surprise attack on Bangknife. After the strike, the creature underwent an evolution, transforming into a legendary dragon known as Cinderella. Without hesitation, the newly evolved dragon unleashed a devastating attack, triggering a series of powerful explosions throughout the city. Realizing that attacking Balgo was no longer his priority, Bangknife mounted his dragon and set off with the intent to eliminate Cinderella. As part of his strategy, he summoned a shadow creature in an attempt to have it devour Cinderella, but the legendary dragon obliterated the entity with a single attack. Not long after, Noel and Ninny arrived to assist Bangknife. He quickly informed them that according to fairy tales, the only way to defeat Cinderella was to break its crown-shaped horn. Acting swiftly, Ninny distracted the dragon while advancing toward it. She and Noel approached Cinderella together and cast a binding spell in an attempt to restrain the fearsome creature. Bangknife reinforced their efforts by unleashing a powerful confinement spell. Cinderella struggled to free itself, ultimately triggering its own explosion. The resulting blast sent both Noel and Ninny flying, though the dragon itself emerged completely unharmed. Wasting no time, Cinderella took flight and headed straight toward Noel and Ninny. The two witches activated a magical shield, but the force of Cinderella's explosion proved too overwhelming for it to hold. In a desperate attempt, Macy called out to Cinderella, hoping that the dragon would still recognize her. However, rather than showing any sign of familiarity, Cinderella launched another attack. This time, though, Noel and Ninny managed to withstand the explosion. Meanwhile, without even realizing it, Balgo had summoned a sword that caught Cinderella's attention. Seizing the opportunity, Noel and Ninny's department chief launched a long-range attack, successfully shattering Cinderella's horn and ultimately defeating the legendary dragon. The following day, the department chief announced that Macy would now be joining their team. Meanwhile, Bangknife approached his superior with a request to revoke the execution order placed on Balgo. After some consideration, his superior agreed, believing that Balgo might eventually attract another legendary dragon. This, in turn, would provide an opportunity to eliminate any legendary dragons that posed a threat to the world. When Noel heard the news, she immediately sought out Balgo and embraced him. The boy couldn't hide his happiness, as he had feelings for her. However, in that very moment, the small dragon that Balgo carried suddenly spoke up, making an inappropriate request to see Noel's underwear. Startled, she instinctively stepped away from him. Frustrated and flustered, Noel then began to chase after Balgo, firing off spells in an attempt to catch and punish the dragon for its remark. And with that, the third and final episode of the anime Burn the Witch came to an end. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future content. Just imagine a world where dragons and supernatural creatures exist, along with wizards and